Welcome. I'd like to welcome everyone to this ribbon cutting event. Veolia is very excited about our recent $60 million green initiative, and we're thrilled you could come and share the day with us here. There's a wide variety of folks in the room, from customers to government officials to architects and engineers, energy industry groups, developers, and Veolia employees. It's our hope to leverage these recent improvements and springboard our greening message past our customer base and into the community in general. And actually, we got a kickoff to this effort yesterday. We had an excellent article in the Philadelphia Inquirer talking about our greening initiatives and the associated environmental and economic benefits. So we're thrilled we got that coverage. Before we jump into the program, like everyone to be aware, we're going to offer some tours of the entire facility after the ribbon cutting event. Anyone interested, I would ask to gather over to my left between the two boilers, and we'll split you up into smaller groups and get you out to see the facility. Our first speaker is Veolia Energy North America's CEO, Bill DeCroce. Bill was recently promoted from COO to CEO this month, having served with the company for over 5 years. Prior to joining Veolia Energy, Bill was the President and Chief Operating Officer of NSTAR Electric and Gas Company's unregulated subsidiaries, which owned and operated private utilities in the Boston area. Previous to that, Bill spent 20 years in the nuclear industry. Bill DeCroce.
Thank you, Mike. I share excitement on this day, which I will definitely call a celebration. I'd like to thank the mayor, particularly for joining us, and as we know, showing great leadership among the cities of the U.S. towards sustainability, which we appreciate. I'd also like to thank the mayor, since his crew provided the podium for one that I can see over, which is good. It's excellent. I've been struggled with those previously. So anyway, with that, it really is a celebration. It's a great day for us. A lot of work over many years. I'd like to thank the commissioner from the PUC, Commissioner Paulson, who supported us in our efforts to bring these new boilers, these new green assets to reality. And then finally, special thanks to the people from Penn. We worked long and hard with them to come up with a long-term solution that worked for both of us, both environmentally and commercially, and that's the name of the game. So it has to be able to check those type of boxes for these things to come into reality. So I want to thank all those folks. And now, the myriad of other people here, and I guess finally the team here, the Veolia team, who designed and built and constructed and now operate these new assets. So thanks for all that hard work for the local team in Philly. So just a bit about Veolia. I won't go on too much about that, but we're proud of the fact that we're a world leader in environmental solutions. We operate in more than 70 countries, with the three primary divisions being energy, water, and waste management. The name of our company is Veolia Environment for a reason. We're recognized as a leader in that field. We pretty much, it's in the DNA of the company, is to help people figure out solutions that will have the least negative impact, or the most positive, however you want to look at that, on our children and our grandchildren, because that's what sustainability means, making decisions today that help the future generations. In fact, along those lines, in 2012, we were noted by Newsweek magazine as being the #2 greenest utility in the world. So we're proud of that. District energy, which is a key part of what we do here in Philly. We operate more than 800 systems around the world. We are the world leader in district energy provision. Cogen, which is another part of the story I'll come back to. We operate over 1,300 sites around the world. So clearly this is what we do and what we consider ourselves good at. And we like to share it with cities that understand it, like Philly. A bit more about urban cogen. I mean, cogen has gone by many names in its history. It's had its periods of boom and then its slower periods. But particularly the story in Philly is about urban cogen, and It's really a fantastic story that is under-known. It's underappreciated. Let's put it that way. That's why we're doing events like this, to help people understand it. So these new boilers, in fact, will allow us to operate the cogen that already exists here at its optimal point, which means that we're able to deliver what we like to call green steam all around the city. So we connect to over 500 businesses through this cogen and district energy matchup. It's 30 percentage points more efficient than conventional means. Think about that, 30 percentage points. How many places can you get 30 percentage points difference in business or environmental impact? So it's a fantastic story. With the new boilers in place on their own, they will save 70,000 tons of carbon per year. When you combine that with optimizing the Grays Ferry cogen, this whole system, which will deliver through the district, will avoid 430,000 tons of carbon per year. So I'm going to say that again, 430,000 tons of carbon per year. So for many of us who are energy professionals or policy leaders, that's easy to understand. In lay terms, what does that mean? That means 70,000 cars off the road. Okay, 70,000 cars. That means the equivalent, and I love solar power. I love my brethren who helped develop it, but just to give you some context, that's the equivalent of covering 900 football fields with PV. So these type of systems, where we're lucky enough to have the infrastructure in this downtown Philly environment, where we've got the network, where we've got a big cogen plugged into it, it's just really a gem. We want to continue to spread the word about that. So with that, I guess when I call it a gem, you know what kind of gem I'm going to call it. It's an emerald. So we're very proud of that. We'd like to thank all of you for coming. Thank all of our friends in government and business and our customers as well, and all the employees. So with that, I'll give it back to Mike. And again, I really appreciate you coming.
All right, thanks, Bill. You made some interesting comments about cogen, and although this project here wasn't specifically installing cogen, what it's doing is allowing us to better utilize our existing cogen, which quite frankly a lot of folks weren't aware we had. We have a 163 megawatt cogeneration system here, and in fact, on your walk down from the office, right as you came into the plant there, on your right was a 55 megawatt steam turbine that's part of the Grays Ferry cogen assets. So that's part of the greening initiative that we had started back in 1998. Yesterday's article in the Inquirer mentioned our evolution of a century-old plant, and now you can see what Andy was talking about. And that evolution, what it's doing is we're evolving from coal. Actually, these boilers here used to be coal, to oil, and now ultimately to natural gas. We're going to be 100% natural gas based, and that's the type of transformation we're talking about, and that's what we're very proud about. The boilers that we're standing around were retired many years ago. They were installed in the 1920s, and where we're sitting, a bunch of these were removed to allow us to install the new assets behind me. Real quick, brief history of the steam system. Edison Station, our satellite facility down at 9th and Walnut, was installed in the late 1880s. It started serving Thomas Jefferson University in 1906, and Thomas Jefferson is still a customer today. In fact, we've grown that relationship with TJU, and we've recently constructed, we own, and we operate a new 7,000-ton chilled water facility that's supplying Thomas Jefferson chilled water for air conditioning to all their entire campus. Schuylkill Station, the site we're at today, started supplying the district system in the 1930s. And our significant greening transformation actually started in 1988, as I mentioned, with the 163 megawatt cogen plant, which won the 1998 Leadership Award from the U.S. EPA in recognition of its contributions to reducing greenhouse gas emissions. So we're very proud of that. And cogen, as Bill had mentioned, it's a much higher efficiency than standalone electric and a standalone steam plant for boilers, and 85%, roughly 85% versus roughly 50%. And the reason for that is when you do standalone electric, when you don't have the heat sink that Bill had mentioned about our district system, the GEM, what you're doing is you're rejecting 2/3 of your useful heat up the stack, up the atmosphere. It just makes it a very inefficient process. Here we have the benefit of being able to utilize our waste heat, which in my opinion completes that efficiency cycle. It allows us to get this waste heat that otherwise go up the stack out to our customer base, and it's the element that makes cogen so valuable. In Philadelphia, we have 41 miles of that valuable distribution piping network, which serves over 500 buildings, and it is definitely our critical link. The associated benefits, I think Bill had mentioned, of the cogen plant alone that was installed in '98 was the reduction or avoidance of 360,000 tons of greenhouse gases, or the equivalent of 60,000 cars annually. Fast forwarding to today, our recent first component of our greening initiative are the boilers behind me. These boilers are what's called rapid fire boilers. They're able to come up to full load in 9 minutes. What that does is it allows us to not have to burn oil and backup equipment like we've historically done. And then additionally to that, we're then able to load up our efficient, clean, natural gas burning cogeneration plant even more. It takes the full load now of our system. And its contribution to greenhouse gas reductions is 70,000 tons, or the equivalent of removing 11,000 cars from the highway annually. The second component of our greening initiative was the expansion of our natural gas pipeline capacity. Historically, we would get gas curtailed on an average winter day, and that would force us to burn oil. So we worked with Spectra Energy, and they eliminated a half-mile bottleneck in their system, and we've signed a long-term contract for that gas, and now we have enough gas capacity to satisfy our entire district needs. So with that said, I'd like to take an opportunity to thank some folks in attendance here today. In addition to the folks up front here, which we'll talk about, from the City of Philadelphia, Kristen Sullivan and Catherine Gajewski. Governmental, Congressman Fattah couldn't join us today, but we have Councilman O and Johnson up here. Cosmos Servideo from the DEP. Customers, we don't exist without our customers, and from Penn we have Craig Carnaroli, Ann Papa George, and Kanagawa. Randy Haynes with TJU. Drexel's Jim Tucker couldn't make it, and Drexel's another example. They're a top 5 customer that we just recently renewed a long-term contract with this past summer. Luis Gonzalez with Hahnemann, Kurt Hess with the Science Center, Jim Verzella with Wistar, which was a new addition to our system. Industry groups, Chris Lewis, Chairman of Philadelphia Energy Authority, Janet Milkman, Delaware Valley Green Buildings Council, Dan Fitzpatrick, who's the Chairman of the Philadelphia Chamber, was here. He had another commitment. He had since left. And Rob Wunderling, the President of the Philly Chamber. And last but not least, the union trades. We couldn't have built this facility without cooperation and working with our local trades. So we want to say thank you very much. All right. In closing, it should be noted that Veolia Energy continues to grow with new world-class projects that are able to achieve LEED and other sustainability measures because of their use of co-generated steam. For example, the Bards Museum, they're a recent steam customer, and they achieved LEED Platinum. Other recent additions include Penn's Center for Advanced Medicine, Drexel's Integrated Science Building, TJU's 901 Walnut Street, and Wistar Institute. As I had mentioned, the Wistar is a new customer, and that wouldn't have been feasible without being able to come to terms with Penn. We're now leasing Penn's 9-mile, 10-mile steam distribution system, which made that economical line extension to Wistar and made that project real. Lastly, Veolia is a globally committed firm, and we are responsive to our customers' desire to greener, demonstrated by these recent greening initiatives. The RSBs came about during contract renewals, as we talked about, and Penn's been a long-term customer since the mid-1900s. During negotiations, Penn made it clear that they have specific climate action goals. Our solution not only made our steam system more efficient, but it also helped Penn achieve their climate action goals. We're very proud of that. Kanagawa, who's Penn's Executive Director of Ops and also serves in the Philadelphia Energy Authority, is not letting us rest on our morals here. Ken's already asking about where our next efficiency improvement's coming from, and Ken, we're working on that. So, all right. With that said, Continuing on with our other speakers, our next speaker is Commissioner Powelson from the Pennsylvania he's the chairman of the Pennsylvania Utility Commission, pardon me. And the PUC role, just in case some of you don't know, are such things as ensuring safe and reliable utility service at reasonable rates, furthering economic development, fostering new technologies and competitive markets in an environmentally sound manner. The objectives sound real consistent with what Veolia's recent greening initiatives. Preserve reliability, create jobs, maintain competition. Now, with no further ado, Commissioner Powelson.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I was chuckling there when we look at the $60 million investment Veolia has made in this complex. I was here, I'm harking back to the winter of 2009. I was on campus here for my first tour of the steamworks, and let me just set the stage. It was about a 20-degree day, and I think the Eagles were actually going to the playoff that year. Mayor, you remember those days?
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah. And when I heard the University of Pennsylvania, I'm an avid Big Five basketball fan, and I was thinking about Penn and all these energy savings. Hopefully, we parlay that back into tuition reductions to students. I don't expect a chuckle from the University of Pennsylvania on that note. But I want to take this opportunity seriously to thank Mike and Bill, and kudos to the management team here at Veolia for making this investment. Ladies and gentlemen, $60 million investment, and they have a footprint of 70 countries across the world. They can deploy that capital wherever they want. And they made a good business decision to invest it here in the city of Philadelphia. I think it really showcases what I call Pennsylvania's energy success story, which is driven in large part to the leadership of people like Governor Tom Corbett and Mayor Michael Nutter working together. In my view, this project complements Mayor Nutter's proactive efforts to make the city of Philadelphia one of the greenest cities in America. So I'm pleased to share the podium with my good friend Mayor Nutter to showcase this important project. Now, I'd be remiss, and also, as you heard me just say a moment ago, I'm an avid Big Five basketball fan, and as my father once told me, there's no I in team, son, and you don't get things done without the support of City Council. And I want to recognize the two members of council here who played a part in this. So thank you for your support. For those of you, as you just heard me say, not familiar with Veolia, probably one of the most environmentally respected electric generators in the world. But they're stretched beyond electric generation. As you heard from Bill, they're active in water and wastewater management, and we want to recognize you for your investment here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like the Sunoco refinery deal, you're hearing a common theme here: natural gas, clean burning, locally sourced. It's another success story, and what drives it, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm proud to say it as a Chester Countyan who's about clean air, clean water, and sustainability, it's the proper development of the Marcellus Shale. I don't have to tell anybody in this room that the molecules that are going to fire up these boilers are not coming from a long-haul pipeline in the Gulf of Mexico anymore. They're locally sourced, Mayor. I'll remind you of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this. It's not a bold statement. It's the reality. The way we generate, transmit, and distribute power here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is changing radically. And it's going to change radically in the next decade because of good public policy. Pennsylvania, go back to former Governor Ed Rendell, we passed an alternative energy portfolio standard, one of the lead states to integrate renewable investment in our Commonwealth. I see Laurie Ackman was here. We're working with the GPIC initiative, another success story for this region, another success story for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, is to see a commitment to energy efficiency and energy conservation. Again, Pennsylvania in 2008 taking the leap of faith to pass Act 129, which is a national role model for energy efficiency conservation. And I could get a show of hands here today. There's not one of us in this room have not benefited from a PICO Smart Idea initiative that's now being brought to you as customers. Now, from the integration of renewable technologies to the use of clean burning natural gas, we are ideally positioned, ladies and gentlemen, to be a national economic trend center when it comes to producing clean energy. Now think about that for a moment. We stand here in the city of Philadelphia, which has been plagued, ladies and gentlemen, by dirty air since the passage of the Clean Air Act back in 1990. I often remind the governor, since 1990, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, because of tailpipe source emissions and unscrubbed coal particulate, have been in non-attainment since 1990. I think it's a sad commentary, but the investment that this company is making today is going to put a dent in that. You heard it, 430,000 tons of carbon reductions because of the investment here, the $60 million investment. I call that a new day for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and a new day for the city of Philadelphia to recognize that energy sustainability is an all-the-above strategy, and today's project, in my view, clearly showcases how you can accomplish these goals when you put environmental stewardship at the forefront of project management. So with that, let me conclude by saying we have accomplished the proverbial win-win here today. A win for customers, and I'm always proud to see a place where I put some tuition money to get a graduate degree, the University of Pennsylvania, doing well, Drexel University doing well, and also a win for Mayor Nutter and what I call energy sustainability, a goal that we are champions of. So I want to just say thank you, and although I had to approve the rates, it's one of the first times, Mayor, since I went on the commission in 2008, I got to clip one of these ribbons.
There you go.
So thank you. Congratulations on a job well done, gentlemen.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Powelson. Veolia is constantly trying to improve cost competitiveness and quality of service in an environmentally responsive manner. And in addition, we're also working with the city folks here, helping them hopefully achieve their GreenWorks goals of reducing greenhouse gases by 20% to become the greenest city by 2015. Veolia will achieve 10% of that goal with both our cogen and these new investments. Now let me introduce you to the originator of GreenWorks, a man that needs no introduction, Mayor Michael Nutter. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone, and Michael, thank you very, very much for that introduction. Let me ask that we give Michael Smedley and Bill DeCroce and the entire team here at Veolia Energy, including our good friend hiding in the back, Eleanor Hayter, who's a good friend of mine. Can we please give them a big round of applause? Knowing that I was coming to this Veolia Energy Green Steam ribbon cutting, of course, I wore my green suit today. I do not have a Green Steam tie, but I do have a solar energy tie. It's a Nicole Miller tie, and if you talk with Mary Doherty, I'm sure she'd be glad to do something that is in the steam realm as well. Ann Papa George knows that you always have to be dressed appropriately for the occasion, and she and Ken Gawa over at the University of Pennsylvania, I want to thank them for their work and their involvement. Jim Tucker and Paul Linderman, of course, at Drexel. Chris Lewis and Barbara Adams from the Philadelphia Energy Authority. Rob Wonderling, as was mentioned, of course, and Dan Fitzpatrick, Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce. We have two great members of City Council. Councilman Kenyatta Johnson, we're in his district, and Councilman David O., council member at large. Councilwoman Blondell Reynolds Brown is actively engaged in the sustainability field as well, and but could not be here with us. She is represented. Can we please thank these council members for their foresight as well. Mike and Bill, we are fortunate here in this city. It's one thing to have an idea or to make a fairly bold pronouncement that we're going to be the #1 green city in America. It's another thing to carry it out, and the only reason we're really able to carry it out is because of great public servants. One you just heard from a second ago, and that, of course, is our incredible chairman of the Public Utility Commission for Pennsylvania, Rob Powelson. Can we please thank him? Mr. Chairman, thank you very, very much. I hope the guys here and others were listening. Part of the message that the chairman laid out is you need to invite him to more ribbon cuttings. It's very, very important, and I always love having him down here in Philadelphia anyway. Our great leader, the Chief Sustainability Officer for the City of Philadelphia, the person who really keeps the focus on these issues, of course, is Catherine Gajewski. She and her team, Kristen Sullivan, Alex Dews, and the rest of the gang, they are really focused on these issues and quite honestly really deserve the lion's share of the credit for what we do here in the city. So please recognize them as well. Today's ribbon cutting, of course, marks a very exciting day for Philadelphia's energy and sustainability communities, as well as our goals that have been mentioned on a number of occasions. And it's certainly great to see so many city businesses and organizations represented. And obviously the story just yesterday is very, very helpful, but I will admit to you now that as a lifelong Philadelphian, having traveled past this area on numerous occasions, and others may or may not be willing to admit in the audience, but it was only in the last couple of years that I could actually answer the question, which is, what in the hell is that over there? You know, we've come to, I've come to know it, but certainly with Veolia, your national, international leadership, your investment here in Philadelphia, the number of things that you have done, and certainly partnered with us, this $60 million investment. It's certainly about energy, but it's also about jobs, because someone had to make this installation and make this work happen. It was mentioned earlier, but I think bears repeating. I want to thank our trades, the folks who really make things work. We can get up here and talk about whatever we want to talk about, but I can assure you that other than maybe touching those scissors back there, I'm not going anywhere near any of this equipment. I have no idea what it does, but they do. Let's give it up for our trades and our workers here making things happen. I am very proud to say and to know that these upgrades will allow Philadelphia, of course, to move closer to achieving our goals set forth in Greenworks Philadelphia, which is the city's comprehensive sustainability plan. My administration aims to reduce citywide greenhouse gas emissions by 4.2 million metric tons, or by 20% during our time. And since 1998, Veolia has reduced greenhouse gas emissions by the equivalent of 10% of the city's reduction goal. This represents a 2% reduction in overall greenhouse gas emissions citywide. And these are real numbers with real impact. Cleaner energy means cleaner air and a healthier city. I want to commend Veolia and the leadership. Projects like this demonstrate, again, that smart business decisions need not be at odds with a commitment to the environment. Veolia is powering many of the companies that quite honestly fuel the city's economy. And I could not be happier than to have them do that in the most environmentally friendly manner. We expect, and I certainly hope, to see more of this kind of investment and leadership in the sustainability future of our great city. One last thing I should mention. You have now destroyed one of the great stories that I've often told over the last 20 years or so. When I was a district councilman, much like Councilman Kenyatta Johnson, I would talk about how we would always have ribbon cuttings for a new roof being put on the building, or a new ball field at a rec center, or new equipment, or some other upgrade. But I would always say that, you know, we never had a ribbon cutting for a new boiler. but everyone appreciates the boiler in the wintertime. And so I'll now have to find another story to explain that particular issue. And let me lastly say that clearly you have closed the energy loop, and you are tremendously efficient, given that it must be about 120 degrees just down here, and you are keeping all of the energy right in this building. I love this energy efficiency. It'll just keep passing around. You guys are doing a fantastic job. Congratulations, and thank you for your commitment to Philadelphia. Thanks a lot.